Central High, the Chile story, African American teenagers.
We were silenced in the school. We were being very sweet and good and trying to be as good enough for white people to think that we were intellectually equal to them, and we must never make mistakes. But they must know that I am a person, I think, and I have feelings, that I do have this streak of resistance. To me, with the exception of the people who were bugging us all the time, and the few nice people, all these white people, there are 2,000 of them, you know? I mean, so...
Her hands tumble over each other.
That's all you can think is kind of like passing whiteness in the hall, passing whiteness.
Dent Gichell.
We're sitting there eating, and I was sitting with a bunch of other boys. Somebody may have said something like, Minnijean's coming through here or something.
Minnijean Brown Trickey.
Which way do you go? So everything was a huge decision. And I didn't notice anything particularly at that table. So I sort of went through, and the guys on the other side were pushing the chairs.
Chairs were kind of coming back and hitting you on the thighs. I started to scoot my chair in to make some room, and I realized my chair wouldn't move because the guy on the other side had his feet like that.
All I remember is...
Looks down, shakes her head side to side, tightens her lips, blinks her eyes, opens her eyes, closes them, lets out a breath.
Opening my hand and just... And I still feel that motion. I still feel it. It's just like that. And then, of course... Oh, my God.
And all of a sudden, I felt something warm on my right shoulder. It was just a little like that on the head. It wasn't, I mean, not like I was hurt or anything. I felt something warm, and I looked down, and there's chili all over my shirt. The guy next to me really got more chili on him than me. I remember pandemonium broke loose. I mean, as soon as this happened, you know, there's hundreds of kids in the lunchroom, and everybody's on their feet screaming and hollering.
All the kitchen help in the cafeteria was black, and they were working along the line. And some of them we had known because they either went to churches or lived in the same neighborhood that many of us did. And they broke into applause.
And then I sort of wheeled out and went upstairs to Miss Huckabee's office.
I said, you know, we need to go and go to the principal's office and report this.
So, of course...
She gestures expansively with almost every word.
Resistance part of me is covered with chili, and sort of consciously walking out of the cafeteria as if I had long, flowing hair, my head held high, and just sweeping out of the cafeteria. Because you have to do that to save your own soul.
And they said, what happened?
And I said, I did it accidentally on purpose.
Nods firmly.
This has been said several times that I tried to defend Minnijean to Miss Huckabee. I don't remember trying. I have to honestly say, I wish I could be heroic and say I do. But I do remember that the way I felt about it was, at the time, I mean, this girl was being harassed.
Here was this person who, to me, just was a person for a change. He wasn't white. He wasn't anything. He was a person. He stood there confused, and I don't think anybody did anything to help him not be confused about what was going on.
For all I knew, it was just an accident, and they let me go home and put on a clean shirt, and I came back to school, and that really was the end of the incident for me. And when you're involved in something like that, of course, some of the people wanted to set, you know, they wanted me to be an ally in their segregationist cause. I sure didn't want any part of that. I was one of that vast majority of people that just tried to ignore the situation. I asked the principal, I asked Mr. Matthews, I said, please do not release my name to the press. I just want to put a clean shirt on and go on with my life. And they honored that.
I was so devastated and felt, that I was just horrible. We're going to suspend her and we're going to suspend them. We're going to be fair. Well, who was fair about all the bruises that were on my legs, and who was fair about all the spit, and who was fair about all that other stuff that wasn't seen, and who was fair about the stuff that we didn't even bother telling them because we knew there was no consideration for our word.
Minnijean Brown.
She just had that feeling that you don't let anybody push you down, and you have no inferiority complex, so she was expelled.
When Minnijean was expelled, the little card that was circulated, 1 down, 8 to go, that was clear evidence. This was the plan, get them all out.
An orange card with capital black letters.